Go ahead and answer your burning question. Yes, I brought my graduation speech in the Spider-Man 2 folder. Doesn't make a difference, it's gonna be good. Let me really begin by saying that yes, I do know that I am the last thing that stands between you and graduation, and I also possess the knowledge that this speech will run at least twice as long as the allotted time. So sit back and stress out. Real quick, a few things. Let me remind you that if my speech does start to crash, just remember to put your life mask on first and let your small children fend for themselves. Also, we ran out of peanuts recently. I'm sorry. Secondly, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we are one short today. I didn't know Chance Brown besides a smiling face in the hallway, and she was always smiling. But I can say that it's a terrible tragedy that she can't be here with us. And I speak for our entire class when I say that we wish she was walking across this stage with us today. After exiting the sweaty and frankly malodorous pit of despair that is middle school, every adult will tell you that the next 4 years go by so fast, and that if you blink, you'll miss it. Of course, at the time you don't believe it, but I'm here to tell you that it's true. Any minute I think I'll be waking up in ISS again for singing Jingle Bells in Miss Davidson's freshman earth science class. I really wish I was making that up. That actually happened. And so, after 4 years of learning to make friends, take notes, eat lunch in less time than it takes to write your first name, talk to girls, get immediately shut down by girls, and numerous substitutes, we arrive here at this moment. And now this one, and this one, and oh, Barry Owens is giving me the move on signal, so I think we should move on. When Mr. McPhee told me that I was going to be giving this speech, he said that it should be about looking backwards. I kind of wish I had been looking backwards sophomore year when I backed into Cedar Lim's car, but I digress. What I want to impart on my fellow graduates today is to remember what made you laugh at North Buncombe High School. What I mean is that if there is one often spoken cliche by adults that I 100% believe, it is that life only gets harder from here. And whether we like it or not, we will all face tough times ahead. Experiences that will be horrible and will break you down into quivering and frankly embarrassing messes. But when those times arrive, I hope there are at least a few memories that you have at North Buncombe High School that you can always look back on and laugh. See, right now it may not seem like it, but the past 4 years have been a treasure trove of comedic gold. There are so many things to reflect on and smile. Now, some of you may be asking, well, what about you? What are your memories? And I know it's probably a shock to the majority of you that I'm the type of person to talk about myself a lot, but life's full of little surprises. So get used to it. Well, to me, I will always be able to laugh at the image of my dumb self at the very first pep rally of freshman year when I danced to Queen Beyonce's Single Ladies in front of the entire population of the school. Now, some of you may recall that moment, and if you do, you'll recall that my moves were somewhat reminiscent of a man with epilepsy having a fit whilst holding live jumper cables. But I was the coolest guy for 10 minutes on a Friday. Most people have probably forgotten that, so you're welcome. And now I would like for all of us to repress that memory once more, please. Thank you. Another story that sticks out to me is something universally painful to everyone in this room. Driver's ed. I will never forget the first day of driving and being so nervous that I was shaking to the point of Leonardo DiCaprio status at the end of Titanic. Coach McKinney was my instructor, and we started off at a relatively good pace. I say relatively because if you know the Wells family, you will have noted that we are actually allergic to safe driving. So after stopping at a Shell to get Coach McKinney a nutritious breakfast that consisted of a Milky Way and a Coke, we drove to a roundabout where my fearless leader began to proclaim that I take the next left. For those of you not familiar with traffic circles, let me tell you something. The whole thing is left. It is literally one giant left. So, in my utter confusion and Coach's vapid frustration, we found ourselves going in the circle approximately 5 to 10 times, whilst a crowd of cars onlooked flabbergasted, so surprised and bewildered at what they were saying they didn't care that they were going to be late to work. There was an idiot driving in the traffic circle over and over and over again. Needless to say, I was sent home with a letter to my mother warning her not to ride with me under stressful conditions. See, it's things like that ridiculous moment and the one before it that make me look upon my time here fondly. Those experiences probably don't have the same meaning to my fellow classmates, but I hope that they all have similarly funny stories that I may not remember or have experienced, but that they will always be able to keep in their back pocket and pull out in times of darkness as a means of light. Even if it just conjures a small smirk, to me that makes it worth it, every last bit of it. I hate cliched speeches, and anyone that knows me knows that I want to stay away from anything that has been done before. I wanted this speech to be a 100% Garland original. With that being said, here are some quotes. The first one is by Richard Russo, who is a professor at Colby College, and he said, "Go to it, be bold, be true, be kind, rotate your tires, don't drink so much, there aren't going to be enough liver transplants to go around." Which I think we can all agree is some sound logic. The next quote is by David Foster Wallace, the best writer ever, which I know is a subjective statement, but also it's fact. And I think this quote really sits well with what I was trying to say earlier. He said in his address, "Learning how to think really means learning how to exercise some control over how and what you think. It means being conscious and aware enough to choose what you pay attention to, and to choose how you construct meaning from experience. Because if you cannot exercise this kind of choice in adult life, you will be totally hosed." Now, I'll be honest with all of you, because I think we have a good relationship so far. I have absolutely no idea what it means to be hosed. But I wanted to include that quote because I think it rings true for everyone graduating today. We're kids no longer, and our happiness from this day on is completely dependent on us and what we choose to find joyous and funny in life. Our time at North Buncombe is only step one, or should be only step one. It's simply the removal of training wheels. Keep that in mind that as we leave here today, yes, this is an end, but it's only the end of the beginning. I want to conclude today with a few thank yous. I want to thank, and if you'll clap after everyone, that would probably be good social etiquette. I want to thank Coach Brown for letting me be in his gym class all the way back in freshman year. It was his last one, so we can just thank. I also want to thank Coach Brown for calling me Gardner all semester, even after I, and later my father at open house, insisted that it was Garland, and that I, in fact, don't go outside, period, let alone garden. That is a hobby and not a name. But it was awesome. I love being Gardner Wells. I also want to thank Mr. Andrew Shelton for 4 years of incredible band experience. Not really marching band, I was quite bad at that, but everything else was solid, so. I want to thank Ms. Cahill for letting me be weird and creative in her class more than anyone else's. Okay, this one's special. I want to thank Mr. Lapp for being the best teacher I think I've ever had, and I am honored to have been a part of your last 4 years here. Thank you so much, sir, wherever you are. And finally, I would like to thank our principal, Jack Evans, for unknowingly letting me park for free all year. Sorry, sir, I never paid the $44 for his baseball signs. I want to wish every one of you the best of luck in whatever you have chosen to do in life. Don't forget this place, North Buncombe High School, not Thomas Wolfe Auditorium. What you did at North Buncombe, not Thomas Wolfe Auditorium, and what made you laugh here, because I'm here and it was funny. Thank you all so much for letting me do this. I wouldn't want to be graduating with any other group of people. Oh, and Mr. Evans, whenever you do mail that bill to me at Western, can you please make it out to Gardner Wells? Thank you so much, I appreciate it.